Hello, everyone. It is so great to be back here in the Adobe Live Studio, a different studio this time. It is so great to be back here. Oh my gosh, the people that have been in the stream before are tuning back. I see some familiar names. Oh my gosh, Tim, who's one of our moderators, you see his blue check mark next to his name. He's tuned in here. Lizbeth, hello. Elizabeth from St. George, Utah. I like that you're already throwing in where you're tuning in from. I will tell you where I'm tuning in from. By the way, follow through with that. That would be excellent to hear is where you're coming from. So, hey Kroll, how's it going? I'm streaming from New York City. One of our beginning streams that are coming from New York. Brand new office setup that we have here. And we're doing some amazing things. So it's my first time streaming from here. So if we do have any technical difficulties, we're working things out. Don't worry, we'll figure it out, and it will be totally okay, and we'll work out everything. So some people are asking, is this live? Yes, this is live. I'm reading the chat here. I have a screen set up over here where I'm reading everything you guys are saying. So it's very exciting because, we get to have a conversation. We get to talk about design live. So it's going to be heaps of fun. Keep in mind, so I see the chat here. It's a handful of seconds delayed. So if I don't get to your question or something that you want to talk about right away, that's okay. Just give me a few seconds. Yeltsin, is from Peru. Nice to meet you. Oh my gosh. Kroll says no Paco. Paco is here digitally. Paco's here digitally. He helped me get everything set up. Paco's our the person that makes sure that these streams are even possible on the technical side. So shout out to Paco. Anyway, it is so great to see everyone here. Oh my gosh, this is brilliant. So I have some stuff to show you. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Okay. I'll tell you about myself. That's probably important. So let's get started here with some stuff. Okay, here we go. Computer A. Here we go. This is nice. Okay, look at that purple background. I'm on a green screen actually, but we can just like map it out and show whatever we want. So, exactly what we want. So I'm Sam Anderson. I'm a designer on the Adobe XD team. Newly moved to New York. We're mainly based out of San Francisco, but I just graduated from school. I was interning on the team for a while, now working here out of New York. With the rest of some of our other designers here in New York. I have a website, I have a Twitter handle. You can check me out online and everything there is in between. So that's fun. So I grew up in Chicago. I went to school in San Francisco at a school called California College of the Arts. I studied interaction design there. I went to school with some awesome people. Maybe you know Julian Crespo, who's been on the stream before, or Alexis Bustos has also been on the stream before. So these are the people I went to school with, and we're a whole big family. Melody's in the house. How's it going? So that's my story. It's freshly evolved for New York. And we have some exciting things to talk about today in regard to the XD Daily Creative Challenge. Has anyone done the XD Daily Creative Challenge before? I've hosted it before, but have you done the Daily Creative Challenge before? Hey, Anna, hello. Yu Ting says, NYC is amazing. That's great to hear. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm loving it. Hashtag Design Life says, Cornelian? Is that how you say your name? Yeah. So thank you for welcoming me. This is so great. Oh, Richard's from New York. Hey, what's up? Oh, sorry, I accidentally hit the mic. Okay, So the daily creative challenge is a way for you to sharpen your UX and UI design skills. And so each day we're going to have a new challenge. And so your home base for everything relating to these challenges is going to be on this website, and it is behance.net/challenge/XD. And so this is going to be exciting. That's where you want to start. And this blue button, that's what you're going to want to click to make sure that you get notifications for each day that we have a challenge. And so new challenge each and every day. You'll get like little notifications and you'll be informed so that you can have the right files to get started with. We have a community chat. I'll show you that in just a second here. So here are where all the challenges are going to be unlocked. Right now they're all locked because it starts tomorrow. And today's just an introduction. So you'll see them unlock here, and on those files you'll actually be able to download our like UI starter kit, like a starter file that you can work with for each of these challenges. And so that's where you can find that, and it's an easy download. If you're unfamiliar with XD, that's the software that we're using to design all of these experiences. You can learn more here, and you can get started for free, which is really nice. Or if you have any questions about XD, like throw them in the chat, because I'm a designer on the team and I can take your feedback and show it with the rest of the team. Or maybe if you have a question, maybe that's something I can answer, because we're all here to make each other better designers, right? So that's the goal. Anna mentioned anyone going to the Creative Jam in Chicago. Yeah, I think there is a Creative Jam coming up in Chicago. That should be exciting. You should go if you're in Chicago. We do these events all around the country called Creative Jams, where Adobe goes to various schools or institutions, and people can come, and it's a blast, and they do challenges, actually kind of similar to what we're doing here live right now, but it's physically in person, and it's a lot of fun. You form teams, so look into the Creative Jams if you're interested in that. So the last piece here on this page is chat with the community. We have a Discord. And if you're not familiar with what Discord is, it's basically a giant chat room. And so why this is significant is because on here, we can talk about our design process. We can show each other what we're making and get feedback on it, which is just brilliant. And we have tons of people on here. Look, just online right now, there's 807. But there's thousands of designers on here from all around the world. Like, we have people from all around the world just watching here. On here, it's incredibly more just diverse, and it's brilliant. And so on there's a channel called Current-Challenge, and this is good for us because that's where for each day we have a challenge. We will be sharing it back in here, and we will get feedback from me and as well as everyone else. It's going to be a communal space where we are just giving feedback to everyone so that we can become better designers, because that's what we want, right? We want to become better designers. So people look through here. Wow. Everyone's sharing their designs from the previous challenge, which just ended. And so look, people are giving feedback, leaving comments on everyone else's design. Solid stuff. This is exactly what we want. There's some other challenges here, or not challenges. There's some other channels here. So a place for you to see things to get inspired. People are posting what inspires them, pro tips, new features in XD, career advice. There's a place for you to make an introduction. Lots of great channels, lots of great people to talk to and ways to communicate. But Current-Challenge, that's going to be the one that we're going to be just knocking out of the park with. So that's another one of our home bases. Now, over the next couple of weeks, this week, next week, not the weekends though, each weekday we will be investigating a new topic and a new challenge. And so we have a theme. We have a theme for these challenges, as we like to do, and that is about sustainability and making a positive impact on this earth, which couldn't be a more important time to talk about this topic. And so we will be learning how to use XD, but also the bigger picture of how to design experiences, and then also in the bigger picture of how do we make it so that it's in a positive impact for the world. And so are going to be diving into topics like reselling clothing. That's going to be fun. If any of these jump out to you, feel free to say so in the chat. I'd like to hear what you think of some of these topics. Or if you've done projects in any of these spaces in the past, let's hear it all. So reselling clothes, composting, it's going to be another challenge topic that we'll dive into. Waste and waste management, like reducing your waste, everything in between. Water usage, how can we reduce water usage? I hope you like these fun colors, by the way. This is just one way we can, spice it up a little bit. Carpooling, this is another great way that we can reduce our impact on the planet. So carpooling, that'll be a fun challenge. Sustainable shopping, choosing things that we think are maybe doing less damage to the earth than another product, and making those decisions in a store. We'll have a challenge to make a design around that. Recycling, this is a big one, but we also have another one around sorting and scanning things that you put in your bins. That'll be a fun fun challenge. So hey, Matthew, thank you for chiming in and saying that you like these topics. I'm glad you like them. And Emily thinks I'm glad you like the colors. Home gardening. This is like, it's related. It's not completely in line, but like, hey, if we can get people gardening in their home more, then maybe that will be more sustainable because they're producing their own vegetables. Secondhand furniture. I recently moved from San Francisco to New York, and that was a whole conundrum. I have all this furniture and I need to get rid of it, and like a lot of it was just IKEA stuff. So at this moment I had this idea. I was like, okay, what if IKEA bought back used furniture, then refurbished it, and then resold it? Like, why do they not do this? I don't know. So it basically turned into renting furniture instead of buying furniture. And yes, there are ways that you can rent furniture, but most people just buy furniture. So why not have a way to buy it back, then resell it, instead of having this thing that you have to deal with, like when you're moving, and some people just leave it on the street. Some people find a friend to give it to, but all around, I think there's better opportunity for reducing waste there. So that would be fun. And hopefully your brain is just stewing with ideas around all these topics. Energy usage. So again, I recently moved, and there's a Nest in my apartment. And when I signed up for it through Con Edison, which is the energy provider here, they gave me all these, it was like this challenge. They gave me ways to opt into better energy usage programs and ways to save money. It was great. And so there could be a whole lesson to unpack here, but it's all about how do we promote positive behavior. And this is kind of that underlying theme that we're going to investigate. And I'd like to hear some of your ideas. And so I had a class in my interaction design program just around, it was called behavior. And so we thought about things like this, and these are going to come into play with your designs. So not only are you learning XD, but you're learning about behavior and designing experiences on a bigger picture, which is just key if you're developing a portfolio and want to get a job. So triggers. There's certain things that trigger you to make a certain decision or an action. What are some examples of what triggers you to make a certain action? Beyond just like notifications, right? It might be something that's in line at the checkout aisle, and that triggers you to make a certain decision. And it's all about those little triggers, those things. Maybe it's someone that tells you about something that triggers you to make an action. Those are things that can help people make a behavior change. It's the very beginning of a behavior change. Convenience, like if something is just simply more convenient to someone, it's going to be easier for them to change their behavior. And so like we're designing apps, we're designing these experiences. I think we can manage that. I think we can. What are some examples of, I'd love if you throw it into the chat, like your suggestions or your ideas of where you've seen this maybe in your life, because these are all around us. Like I promise you, these are all around us. So what are some ways that you've seen that the simplicity of something being convenient changing how you make decisions. Maybe it's like the closest subway to you. Maybe it's the closest subway, I mean like train, or sandwich. Who knows? Also motivation. I like this one because motivation's probably the strongest way to get someone to change their behavior. And especially if someone is downloading an app with the intention of changing their behavior, let's say they download an app to track like their energy usage or track their weight or track anything, right? And they're downloading this app in a moment of high motivation. And they might not always be in this moment of high motivation. And so what's key is that as a designer of something that is going to change behavior, how can you capture that moment where someone is highly motivated, right? And like disperse that motivation across a long period of time so that you're setting them up for success. Because as humans, we kind of just fall out of that motivational swing. And a week later, even though we downloaded the app and we were feeling so super motivated, we've kind of lost that. And so how do we maintain that for people? This is like a key one, and I love it. And I think just that principle of like maintaining motivation when people are at that high, that peak, when they're peaking at motivation, how do you maintain that and preserve it for them? Rewards. This one could be used kind of maliciously, so be careful, but this is in line with gamification and point systems. But of course, even though we always hear about in the news about ways that companies are maybe manipulating us to do what they want, we can also use rewards and point systems and gamification to the benefit of the earth. So why not, right? So if we know that the human brain is attached to these kind of reward systems, then let's use it to gather points on every time you recycle, or reducing your waste, or whatever that you think of, right? I think there's a lot of opportunity to have fun with this one. Is that our last one? It is our last one. Isn't that exciting? So I'm curious to hear what topics are you most interested in with all these colorful topics. Our starter files will look something like this. So this will become a familiar look for you. And this is tomorrow, so don't look at it don't sneak. I mean, that's what we'll be diving into tomorrow. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a mobile app, and we'll dive into even further. Each plan, each lesson or each stream, each challenge, all these words, has a go further section. And this is where I've given you some tips on how you can actually take your design further or consider something else about your design. And so there are links in here, and you can paste that into your browser, read up on something that will make you a better designer to actually give you like that further push. And so in each of these sections on each starter file, you'll find something like that. And I love this website, NN Group. This is Nielsen Norman. Let's show you their website real quickly. It looks boring, yes, I know, but they have great writing on how all these things around behavior change. They do tons of studies, and they just publish them for free. It's great. And they talk about like concrete things that you can put into your design to change how people are using it. So that's a great resource. I also have videos that I'll throw in there. A link back to the stream, which is like what you're watching right now, for each one will be right here in italics, and you can paste that into the browser. If you're watching it live, that'll just take you right back to where you're seeing it live. And then some tips from me. So if you didn't get to catch the stream, these will be some tips right from my heart as a young designer. I don't have it all figured out. I don't have it all figured out yet, but there will be some tips there from me to explore as well. And so, there, go away, doc. I set up, the dock hiding, keep it clean, go full screen. Ooh, that rhymed. I love rhymes. Love a good rhyme. Oh, Ronnie is from Brazil, so great to hear that. We have participants coming in from all around the world. If you're new to XD, let's take XD for just a quick couple minute spin, and so you can get the idea of what XD is like to operate. And so I've been using XD to show you all of this. And so we have artboards, which is our core element, and we can make a new artboard with the artboard tool, like that. And we have a blank canvas. What's key about XD is that you can do both design and prototyping in one tool. So we can set up an artboard here, and you won't be starting completely from scratch when you do your designs. We have UI kits that you can start with. We have that starter file that I made and I'm giving to all of you guys that you can make as well. But it really becomes a starting point. So if you're intimidated by the blank white canvas, then do not fear. And so we can add some text here. I'll show you one of my favorite features, which is that if you're making some sort of list, right? This is not pretty design. I don't even know what I'm designing here, but cut me some slack. I'm just showing you XD. Okay, so we can use repeat grid. So if we're making a grid of buttons or a list of items, we can use repeat grid to just duplicate all those items down. Really handy. And then if we move one, we move all of them. Really cool. This is Halyard display. It's the same typeface I used for my last daily creative challenge. Do you have some favorite typefaces? I would love to hear what your favorite typefaces are, because I am a nerd on typefaces. So let's hear it. Okay. If you guys are noticing some issues with the audio, we're still figuring out this setup, and I think this computer over here is just lagging a little bit. So, apologies for that, but we'll have it fixed for next time, hopefully. So, not your problem. It's on our side, so don't worry about it. So we can set up repeat grids like that, and then, like I said, types, fonts, typography. You can learn more. You can sync fonts from fonts.adobe.com with your Adobe account, and you can find lots of just gold typefaces on here, and you can browse every single typeface that you can imagine. This is something handy for you to do before each of your challenges every day, because you have to think about what is the emotional connection that you're trying to make in your design, and choosing the right typeface is going to be relevant to that. Tim says, don't say papyrus. Oh my god. If you don't know, papyrus in the design community is a very hated font, and I don't say that lightly. People just don't like it. So what is your favorite typeface? I'd love to hear. That'd be fun. My favorite typeface. I don't know. It kind of just changes with the day, with the weather. There's lots of good ones. Helvetica is a classic. Look, here's Helvetica. Everyone knows Helvetica. I was just thinking of that we need some more we need better default fonts on every single system, because it's different for Windows than it is for Mac. There's lots of different complexities there. I've also thrown in for each of these files inspiration, so you have somewhere to reference for inspiration, and I've included the author of that piece of design work so that you can see, you can look further into them, and hopefully each of these gives you ideas on what your layout could be. Oh, Richard says his favorite is Avenir. Oh, Jovan says Montserrat and Futura, Helvetica. Those are great typefaces. Use those. Those are great. Hugo says Times New Roman. And I think people will fight you on that one. Nothing against your opinion, though. It's just a lot of people associate that with academic writing, and it can be kind of bring people back to their college days sometimes. So we only have a few minutes left here, so if you have any questions on XD or what this challenge is going to be like, feel free to throw those in the chat and let me know, and we can just dive into everything. I'll tell you a little bit. I'll give you a little sneak preview of what I'm doing here in New York. Okay, you were in San Francisco. Our team is based in San Francisco. Why did I move out here? Well, XD has voice prototyping functionality. What does that mean? So in the same way that you talk to Siri, you can talk to a prototype that you make with XD. And so you can set up, here's the prototyping tab. This is all the magic of XD, or at least half of it, because it's a big part of it. You can set up different triggers and different responses, and part of that is actually having a Siri-like functionality of being able to talk to your design and it can talk back to you. This is what I'm focusing on here in New York because that's where our team is. Very exciting. So like all the things I'm working on that I can't tell you are just like, I'm so excited about them. And I wish I could, maybe I can, we'll see if I can give you sneaks later. But that we're just going to have to play it by ear. So I will be back here tomorrow with all of you lovely humans to dive into our first challenge, our first daily creative challenge, where you can get our starter UI kit and we can dive right into it. And I'm really looking forward to it. So tune in, same time. I will see you tomorrow and just have a great rest of your day. And peace out. Okay, see you later.